C'est bizarre, tout d'un coup vous vous retrouvez dans le noir. Eh ben, laissez-moi vous raconter un film qui avait fait un grand succès à l'époque et qui avait choqué l'Amérique. Je veux parler de L'Exorciste. Eh oui, sorti le 11 septembre 1974 en France, réalisé par William Franklin. Et la suite, qui était donc L'Exorciste 2, où nous verrons tout à l'heure la bande-annonce. Voilà un film qui encore aujourd'hui fait parler de lui.
Pas une défaillance de votre téléviseur. N'essayez donc pas de régler l'image. Nous maîtrisons à présent toute retransmission. Nous contrôlons les horizontales et les verticales. Nous pouvons vous noyer sous un millier de chaînes ou dilater une simple image jusqu'à lui donner la clarté du cristal et même au-delà. Nous pouvons modeler votre vision et lui fournir tout ce que votre imagination peut concevoir. Pendant l'heure qui vient, nous contrôlons tout ce que vous allez voir et entendre. Nous partagerons les angoisses et les mystères qui gisent dans les plus profonds abysses, au-delà du réel.
Au-delà du réel de l'exorciste. Salut. Alors, mes amis, bienvenue dans les petits contes de la Crypte de Grippe-Sou le clown. Bienvenue. Alors, comme je vous ai montré, Et je vous le rappelle, ce n'est pas votre écran qui est en train de bugger. Vous êtes bien dans les petits contes de la crypte de Grippe-Sou, le clown, et c'est moi qui contrôle l'émission et votre téléviseur. Alors, vous avez compris que ce soir, on va parler certainement de l'exorciste. Et il faut savoir que j'ai trouvé un petit documentaire concernant le réalisateur qui parle le fond de sa pensée par rapport au film qu'il avait fait à l'époque. Après, il y a eu un deuxième qui malheureusement a fait un flop à l'époque et qui n'était pas terrible. Et après, il y en a eu un troisième. Mais le premier, l'exorciste, était quand même très très bien et mieux. Il faut savoir qu'à l'époque, ça avait choqué pas mal de gens. Et de ce que j'avais entendu, il y avait même des gens dans la salle qui avaient vomi et qui avaient un peu pété les plombs. L'Amérique, à l'époque, avait été bouleversée par ce film. Et pourtant, c'est un film d'épouvante, tiré peut-être d'une petite réalité. Mais il faut savoir que le film à l'époque avait été censuré. Et qu'il a fallu attendre des années après pour avoir sa version en intégralité. Avec, je crois, un quart d'heure de... Non. Il me semble, dans mes souvenirs, une heure de plus, je crois. Voilà. Et donc, ce soir, je vais vous laisser découvrir donc ce petit interview du réalisateur, et après nous passerons certainement en bande-annonce du deuxième opus et du troisième opus. Voilà. Allez, je vous dis de passer une bonne soirée et à une prochaine vidéo dans les contes de la crypte de Grippe-Sou. Et nous allons regarder le reportage vite fait. Allez, à très bientôt. Pour une prochaine vidéo.
This is Bill Friedkin, day one, take one. Everything has to do with the mystery of fate or faith. And The Exorcist is about the mystery of faith. I knew exactly how I wanted to make it. I marked up my own copy of the hardcover. I didn't want any backstory, no flashbacks, just a straight ahead story that was done as realistically as possible. And over the decades, it's been interpreted and reinterpreted. Many people look at the ending of the film as ambiguous. It doesn't appear to have been a problem for the millions of people who've seen the film. They accept what we showed. It asks for a total leap of faith on the part of the audience. The original cut of The Exorcist, Bill Blatty and I disagreed about. I cut a number of scenes out, more than 12 minutes worth, from the original version of the film, for two reasons. One, I showed it to a man who was an executive at Warner Brothers then, called John Calley. He was sort of head of production. And I showed the work print of the film to him, and he had what I thought were some very good suggestions. A couple of scenes, he said, I don't think you need that. I think that's overstatement. when he first said this to me, I respected John Kelly, but I thought, well, who the hell is he? I mean, I've lived with this film now for well over a year. I won an Academy Award. What is he telling me how to change my film? But I went home after this meeting and I started to think about everything that he had said. And I went into the cutting room the next day and I tried all of the changes and cuts that he suggested, and I thought it was a better film. And so I went out with it that way. And for years, Blatty was angry about that. And for a long time, he didn't even speak to me. But whenever he did speak to me, he would say, Billy, you've cut the heart and soul out of the movie. And I would say, Bill, you're a sore winner. The movie's out there. It's a success. The success keeps growing. It's the gift that keeps on giving, as far as you're concerned. And you're telling me that I was wrong? And then many years went by, from the year 1974, actually, when the film came out, and the year 2000. And Blatty and I had resumed our very close friendship, and he called me one day, and he said, Bill, would you consider looking at the footage that you cut? I'll look at it with you. We'll look at it on an editing machine at Warner Brothers, where they have it stored. And will you just look at it and see if you could restore it and put it into a new version of the film? And I did this as a favor to Bill because I love Blatty and I respect him, and he gave me the best piece of material I've ever received. And I said, okay, and we went into Warner Brothers. I looked at all these cut scenes. I looked at the shot of the girl walking backwards down the stairs, which we couldn't use at the time because the cable showed, because it was so bright.
When we did that spider sequence originally, it was so tricky. You had to have a pretty well-coordinated person to do that. And of course, putting the person on wires helped, because you couldn't do it without the wires. It didn't make the movie because of the wires. And so in the 2000 release, they were easily able to take those wires out with CGI. And so Billy decided to use it in the re-release.
The scene in which Billy and I argued about on the set was a speech between Max von Sydow and Jason Miller on the staircase between bouts of the ritual. And the speech was, why this girl? What is the sense of the point of that? And to paraphrase Merrin's answer, it was, the girl is not the target. The target is you, me, every person in this household. And the point is to make us despair, to make us feel that humanity is ultimately vile, ugly, bestial, putrescent. So much so that if there were a God, he couldn't possibly love us. And to me, that speech was so important because, on a practical level, it would permit a member of the audience to not hate himself for enjoying some of the more horrific moments. It would explain things like the green vomit spewing, everything, all the horrific stuff.
I think the point is to make us despair.
That was the first scene that I cut out of the movie on my own originally, because I felt that that statement of what it's all about was inherent in the whole film. Bill always felt that it needed to be stated. And I said, Bill, I can't include it because the whole movie is saying that.
To reject the possibility that God could love us.
I really put it back for him because I feel and felt that I owe him a lot. He wrote this thing, he created it, gave it to me. And as I got older, I'd become somewhat less arrogant, and I felt that he should have the version of the film come out that he wanted.
Sure.
And I even did other things with the film. Like I added some little cuts. And I added, at the end of the final scene, which I'd cut out, a scene between Kinderman, the detective, and Father O'Malley, where they're talking outside the house after the family has left.
Father Dyer, you go to films?
But we were unable to retrieve properly dialogue from Kinderman's voice, Lee Cobb's voice, when he says, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
I'm reminded of a line of the film, Casablanca. Yet, all that says is already. Louis, I think this is the beginning. You looking like Logan?
That hurt a bit, but we've got a good piece of it, and Karras lives on. He lives. The relationship continues.
There was a bunch of stuff that existed in work print that they couldn't find a matching negative. But I wasn't going to stick in a work print which is scratched and splotched, and I was going to try to integrate that into a brand new print of the movie. There was a scene at the Arlington Memorial in Virginia. Ellen takes Linda, her daughter, while they're in Washington, on a tour of various landmarks. She takes them up to the tomb of the unknown soldier and watches the ceremony. And that scene was shot just for the line where little Linda says to her mother, "Mommy, why do people have to die?" And I thought it was wonderful, to see this ceremony celebrating the death of the American soldiers who have died in various battles, and the little girl not understanding death, but concerned about it. And I would have put that moment back in the film, but we could not find the soundtrack. Would the film have done as well at the time with all these scenes in it? We'll never know that. The film did great at the box office every time they release it, in no matter what version. And of course, the DVDs have been very successful, and Blu-ray is the best format that's ever come out, as far as I'm concerned, for viewing the film, and in the comfort of your own home. I've heard little details of sound effects in the Blu-ray that I had never heard, that I didn't even know were in the track. Little details, little tickles or noises or things that we build in, which is now all high-definition digital track, you hear that I don't even remember that we build in. So there are all these versions of it, and I now tend to believe with Blatty that the best version, the most complete version, is the 2000 version, the version you've never seen.
Une nouvelle version est prévue pour 2023. Voici un petit teaser de l'Exorciste 2023.
Death be not proud, though some have called thee mighty and dreadful. Thou art not so. Thou soonest our best men with thee go, rest of their bones and souls delivery. But those thou dost thinkest thou dost overthrow. Die not, poor death.
ago, The Exorcist shocked the world. Now, the struggle between good and evil goes on. Exorcist 2, The Heretic. James Earl Jones, Exorcist 2, The Heretic.
"17 years ago, an extraordinary motion picture touched our most profound, nameless fears. Do you dare walk these steps again? Death, be not proud, nor canst thou kill me. Satan grows stronger.
You believe in possession, Father?
He has found a haven.
Come to take a little blood from you, Father.
He has taken possession.
The boy had been crucified.
His web widens.
I've just never seen anything like this in 20 years.
Inside this cell,
The killer drove an ingot into each of his eyes and cut off his head.
inside a man.
Who are you? I am no one.
A man we thought had died 17 years ago.
He is inside with us. He will never get away.
This time you're going to lose. The real terror is back. George C. Scott in William Peter Blatty's The Exorcist 3.
Me revoici, me revoilà. Je suis sûr que vous avez cru que la vidéo était terminée, hein, n'est-ce pas? Non, je fais un petit caméo. Voilà, j'espère que ces quelques images vous auront plu. Je suis désolé, les bandes annonces, je ne les ai pas trouvées en français, malheureusement. Et pour ce petit reportage que vous avez vu tout à l'heure aussi, il n'y avait pas de sous-titres. Je vous prie de m'excuser par rapport à cela. Mais voilà, j'espère que ça vous aura plu. J'ai préféré terminer la dernière séquence avec une petite musique de piano qui montre comment s'est passé le tournage du film à l'époque. Vous avez vu le maquillage, vous avez vu comment c'était fait. Hein, voilà. Il faut savoir qu'il y a eu un accident dans le film L'Exorciste. Oui, on ne le raconte pas, mais c'est pourtant important de le dire. La petite fille, quand elle était couchée sur le lit, et que le lit bougeait de cette façon-là, en fait, comme vous avez pu voir dans les quelques images que je vous ai montrées, elle a eu mal au dos. Et oui, et il y a eu donc un petit accident de dos. Elle n'est pas paralysée, mais elle a eu un petit problème de dos, qui aujourd'hui, elle est toujours en vie. Hein, l'actrice a 64 ans, je crois, maintenant. Elle est toujours en vie, mais avec son petit problème de dos. Et oui, à la force de secouer comme ça, le dos, il a pris cher. Et donc, il y avait une blessure. C'est souvent ce qui arrive dans ce genre de film. Hein. Voilà. Donc, j'espère que cette vidéo vous aura plu. Et donc, comme vous avez vu, il y a l'Exorciste 2023 qui va donc sortir en octobre. Peut-être que je ferai une vidéo dessus, je verrai. Tout dépendra si la sortie est bien en octobre et qu'elle n'est pas repoussée. Voilà, déjà nous avons vu le teaser, donc peut-être que en octobre on aura la surprise, le jour d'Halloween ça va sortir, c'est marrant. Ah, les vrais, comme je le disais lors de ma précédente vidéo, les vieilles franchises ça revient à la mode. Voilà, cette fois-ci mes amis on va se laisser et je vous dis à une prochaine vidéo et une prochaine soirée que nous passerons ensemble dans les petits contes de la crypte de Grippe-Sou. Prenez soin de vous mes amis et à une prochaine vidéo. Ciao ciao.